And guys, in this next news story, 17 people have been jailed for more than a century after £1 million drug line was busted by officers. The court result follows a complex investigation into the supply of Class A drugs into the Chesterfield and Sheffield areas, which began back in 2022. Almost 20 kilos of coke, a handgun, approximately £1.2 million in cash was recovered as part of the investigation, with £680,000 discovered in just one vehicle which was stopped by officers in Sheffield. The investigation, which was led by officers from the East Midlands Special Operations Unit, uncovered those involved in facilitating, supplying and delivering illegal drugs and tracked the movement of large quantities of criminal money throughout the UK. Such was the evidence of their criminal activities that 13 of the gang pleaded guilty before trial and were handed the following sentences at Derby Crown Court. Jake Roderick, from Newell, conspiracy to supply Class A drugs and conspiracy to conceal, disguise, convert, transfer, remove criminal property, possession of a firearm, got 16 years. Leon Wagstaff, who's 30, from Brimington, conspiracy to supply Class A, got 9 years, 4 months. You got Torrington Smith, who's 35, from Sheffield, conspiracy to supply Class A, he got 6 years and 8 months. Bradley Cocking, who's 25, from Newbold, got 7 years and 10 months for conspiracy to supply Class A. Micah Hibbert, who's 27, from Sheffield, conspiracy to supply Class A and B, 5 years and 3 months he got. Kyle Rayworth, who's 36, conspiracy to supply Class A, got 6 years and 10 months. Got Bradley McCarthy, from Sheffield, conspiracy to supply Class A, 4 years and 8 months. Luke Mills, he got 6 years and 10 months, conspiracy to supply Class A. Andrew Broccolis, conspiracy to supply Class A, 4 years. Nathan Hitchcock, 5 years, 6 months again, conspiracy to supply Class A. Brandon Coulding, 4 years and 10 months, conspiracy to supply Class A. And the same, Ryan Marshall, conspiracy to supply Class A, 10 months. And then 7 of the gang denied their part in the operation, but they were eventually found guilty by a jury at Derby Crown Court. They were under the following terms. You got Casey Johnson, conspiracy to supply Class A, 6 years and 10 months. Nicky Aycock, again the same, 9 years and 3 months. Tanya O'Brien, 6 years and 11 months. Salah Naha, he got done 4 years and 3 months for acquisition, retention, use or control of criminal property. And Raza Shan, supplying Class A, 6 years and 8 months. And then 3 other men are going to be sentenced for their part. That's Sona Gun, Said Homley and Ilyas Gunn. So Detective Inspector Tom Bentley led the investigation to the group, said the jail sentences for the group reflect the really serious harm that they and those like them do to our communities. This was a sophisticated gang who only not profited greatly from their legal activities, but were also clearly prepared to defend their criminal enterprise with lethal firearms. So I hope that these sentences send a clear message to anyone involved in this type of crime that there is no safe place, and we will work across the region and indeed the county to bring you to justice. In this next news story, 3 men have been found guilty following a sting into a UK-based people smuggling gang launched after a woman was found crammed inside a glove box. Reda Curtis, who's 30, Joseph Cadet, who's 25, and Khalees Akram, who's 44, were each found guilty of assisting unlawful immigration at Manchester Minishaw Street Crown Court this week. The trio were arrested after a Home Office investigation and were found to have been part of an organised smuggling network hiding people in customised vehicles between 2022 and 2024. Dame Angela Eagle, the Minister for Border Security and Asylum, said the case showed the ruthless tactics of criminal gangs who smuggle people through Europe and into the UK. That they have no regard for human life and exploit vulnerable individuals solely for profit, putting them in incredibly dangerous situations. The probe began after a Vietnamese woman was found hiding in a cramped compartment concealed behind the dashboard of a vehicle returning from France in June 2022. Joseph Balog, who was driving the vehicle, was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison last January after admitting charge of assisting unlawful immigration. A month after the first smuggling attempt was caught, Curtis's wife was stopped by Border Force officers after they found she was hiding another woman in the dashboard of a vehicle, prompting a Home Office investigation into the gang. It found the ring created false identity documents believed to have been made using a Greek forgery factory and resulted in the seizure of counterfeit documents and more than 20,000 illegal cigarettes and £6,000 in cash. Paul Morgan, the chief immigration officer at the Home Office, said the probe stretched across Europe and took 2 years of hard work before our criminal financial investigation teams in Dover and Manchester. He added this group put profit ahead of people's safety, facilitating them through dangerous methods in vehicles and by air, showing no concern for the beings of those they smuggled. Etherington, the wife, pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to assist unlawful immigration to the UK, and she's one of 5 members of the ring to admit to charges relating to people smuggling. So Curtis, Cadet, Jabbar and the 5 members who pleaded guilty will next appear in court on the 29th of January for a sentencing date. And guys, in this next news story, a man who was caught importing MDMA into the UK and was later part of a gang smuggling illicit goods into prison has been jailed for almost 11 years. Sean Mason, who's 34, was serving a 16-year jail term for dealing when he and 5 others, including a prison nurse, conspired to import drugs into HMP Durham and HMP Northumberland Newcastle Crown Court heard. Mason, who had to be extradited back to the UK after fleeing to Spain, had 2 of his previous drug dealing convictions quashed by the Court of Appeal, but has admitted 2 new counts of conspiracy to supply Class A and B drugs. He was jailed for a total of 10 years and 11 months for the drug and prison offences. Border Force officers in Essex intercepted 2 parcels from the Netherlands on the 16th of June 2020, the prosecutor said. They were addressed to houses in Pelton in County Durham, connected to Mason, and were found to contain a total of 10 kilos of 96% purity MDMA hidden under clothing, the court heard. An undercover police officer delivered decoy packages to the 2 houses a few days later, with one of the occupants later telling officers Mason had ordered her to be in to take delivery of them, the court heard. Police raided the homes and seized a mobile phone, which was using Encro Chat, an encrypted mobile phone service favoured by criminals. They also found messages between Mason and other drug associates arranging the sale of large quantities of ketamine between March and July 2020. Prosecutors said the evidence showed Mason played a leading role directing the buying and selling of drugs on a commercial scale. At that point, Mason had fled from police to Spain after a cannabis farm was discovered, and he was later extradited back to the UK and jailed for 16 years, although that conviction was partially quashed by the Court of Appeal and the case was resentenced at Newcastle Crown Court. While in prison, he and 5 others smuggled drugs and electronics into HMP Durham and HMP Northumberland. 4 of his accomplices were previously sentenced. So guys, here's a couple of stories coming out from the streets of the UK. Once again, if you already haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. Please give this video a little like. It's your boy GT. Keep it locked, keep it real.